to Josh reacted to this? Do I just reactception the 8 minutes? I'm curious to hear his thought. Okay, I know this is kind of cheesy, but whatever. I couldn't find the original video. Wait, I already autoplay probably put it on. Nice. I promise I have not pre-watched because I'm curious to hear what he has to say. Make sure you guys like the video as well and give it a watch. So like I wonder if I'm weird like this, but because I've essentially grown up, like I've played Yu-Gi-Oh since I was 5. I've grown up playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I use Yu-Gi-Oh like sets and events as almost landmarks in my life for certain events happening. Like I can relate to my graduation from high school to being Zodiac, or graduation from university being Tier Element, and the events that surrounded it. So Tier Elements, the next event afterwards was Sydney 2023. And for Zodiac, my first event after graduating high school was the WCQ in 2017. That is just sad. How is that sad? I love the game, and that's how my mind works. But I'm wondering if someone else who's played the game for like as long as I have feels about it in the same way. That being said, I don't think that's actually what the initial discussion's about. It's like about like what defines modern Yu-Gi-Oh. And I also imagine his perception could be somewhat similar to mine. Mine is probably warped in comparative to everyone else's. Because again, I've played since Goat format. Like for me, what I consider old Yu-Gi-Oh is like, I guess relative to when I was in primary school, like grade 8 and earlier, that's what I consider old. Because again, it shifts with like where I am with my life. And then I feel like when I was really most into the game was when I was in high school. That's really all I fucking did was school and Yu-Gi-Oh. So it's like the 4 years I was in high school. And then afterwards, my competitive era. So that very much mixes in with my perception of times in Yu-Gi-Oh. Let's take a look.
Which is this earlier. This post says, after Farfa's whole ass modern Yu-Gi-Oh rant, here is what will from now on be considered the best and most accurate way of dividing the game's historic periods. First of all, what's the Farfa modern Yu-Gi-Oh rant? Not rant. Cause I remember Farfa asking me when I think modern Yu-Gi-Oh started. Like modern Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think I said 2018.
2018. I think there's two schools of thought for that. I guess from my perception. I mean, like again, it's so linked to your own life and your own perspective and how things went. But at least from my perspective, the two different like things you could argue for is links, or if you want to be specific, so it could be either with links or it could be with double helix being the first good link that actually shook up the game, because before that it wasn't like really crazy. Or it could be Exfo until early 2018, which had like the crazy links and not just double helix anymore. Or it could be post-COVID, because there was like, at least for me, a big break in what was considered in Yu-Gi-Oh for me in that time. Did you bet competitively in Spiral format? You should look up the winner of the London YCS with Spiral.
Look at his Twitter. I don't know. I typically try to avoid doing that. Well, okay, I guess I guess I have to. So where is that rant? My last video really caused some drama in the comment section. Apparently considering Pendulum FTK Goki 2018 format as modern Yu-Gi-Oh is incorrect. I asked you guys then, what year would you consider new school or modern Yu-Gi-Oh to have begun?
I mean, in reality, 2018 is like 6 years ago. How miserable is Maxio 1? It was terrible. Yeah. Dark times.
Prehistoric gamer. The rescue hamster.
Which is crazy. This card came out in like 2015. It was a core, right? Or was it Next Challengers? Either way, that's 2015. Yeah, mental. I mean, this is a meme, right? This is exaggeration.
Fusion deck era, original Yu-Gi-Oh! Acceleration era, old Yu-Gi-Oh! 2008 to 2012. Renaissance era, pre-modern Yu-Gi-Oh! With dragon rulers and
rose tinted glasses of people who were just, I don't know why this one is why the people call it, I don't know, Renaissance. I don't know, I'm rambling. Why is that their Renaissance era? No idea. I guess this is mostly good Yu-Gi-Oh! Although I liked most formats. I'm trying to think what formats I hated. 2012 was a bit rough, like this area here. I didn't like Pepe format, which was like, I guess like here, for a very, very short period. A lot of this period fucking sucked. COVID era sucked, and then most of this is good. I have not liked the last bit though. This starts off too slow. I don't like the initial Yu-Gi-Oh! This is okay, most of this. You know, I started really liking it around here. The only thing you disagree with the Twitter post is the names. You don't think using art names is useful in any way. Like what, the acceleration era? Yeah, I think the nomenclature is not consistent as well. Why would this be Fusion Deck era and this not Synchro era? Like if that was what they're going for, calling this Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, Link, COVID, and then Postmodern, I would accept that. Honestly, that's not bad. I think the naming is all over the place. Master Duel 4, fine, whatever, same shit as Links. The naming is just memeing. It's hard to tell with Twitter if people are are trying to be actual and genuinely helpful, or they just try to shitpost, because in reality, that's a lot of what Twitter and I guess the internet is. Fusions were irrelevant. Maybe just call it classic Yu-Gi-Oh then. But even then, right? Like as for the people who played in this period, like 2002, 2008, it's a big like distinction between this year and this year, right? That 6 years is a pretty long time, right? This is the biggest area. And Yu-Gi-Oh in this capacity looked very different than Yu-Gi-Oh in this fashion. So is that all one era, right? How do you break it up? It is kind of arbitrary. Of course it's arbitrary, but it's funny things, right? And so the distinction they made here actually was the ignition effects priority was removed. Is that what? Holy shit! So some of the fonts are fucking awful. What does that say? Duelist Alliance and something release, pendulum release. Okay, yeah, because I think it also honestly deserves its own thing. Because not only pendulums, but we also had the rule change where you stop drawing sixth card. Like if you're gonna say the priority thing was important, like the draw six thing was massively important, as well as the field spell rule change. So this could be broken out more probably. Not sure if this is even important enough, the priority thing, but maybe it is. Oh, Exceed started here. Yeah, I think this is maybe a bit funkier than it needs to be. I think probably I'd just do it. I don't know. Do you have multiple sections? Do you have here to here, here to here, here to here, and then here to here? IOC. Yeah, I think after IOC maybe is one, or after GOAT, it starts to get a bit more modernized. At what point does it start speeding up the old Yu-Gi-Oh? Because it starts to speed up. It gets faster with cards like Stratos and this Commander Demok, these faster OTKs coming down, Dark Armed. That did start popping up eventually, so there should be some distinction between here as well, because that was before this for a bit. If there was a website that you would like make your own timeline, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe that's a project for another day. We'll follow that up, but I didn't prepare any resources for that. Anyways, I'm interested to see if Josh shares any of the same opinions as I do.
And Pepe. Master Rule 4 era, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! COVID era, combo pandemic. Yeah, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about this era. This era.
We don't talk about pandemic. Fucking terrible.
Master Duel era, postmodern Yu-Gi-Oh!
Master Duel era. Yeah, like we're talking about the TCG here.
This feels decent to me. This feels reasonable. Because
yeah, I think it's on the right track for sure, but I also think there's star flaws. And the more you like notice and nitpick on things, I think you'll start noticing them. Dude, I can't read half of these. What the fuck does this say? Pre-chaos, post-chaos. Sure, okay.
Yeah, when Farfa asked me what I thought when modern Yu-Gi-Oh began, I said 2018 because in my mind, that's when it really made the change from a slower paced game to a more combo turn one oriented style, right? Like that in my head, that's kind of like a 2018 thing, where we go from like 2017, we go from decks like Paleozoic and Zodiacs over to Lynx.
The thing is, it's not exactly sudden, right? Because yeah, in 2017 you still have the Spiral Double Helix, which maybe you count as a start, but before that there's little pendulums, which were powerful. They weren't nearly as crazy, but they were powerful. And the Fusion Sub-Zoo was kind of insane. That turn one was nasty. There had been combo decks that had been very powerful or tier one before that, right? Like it's not like there was a sudden change, which is why it is still kind of arbitrary to say 2018, 2017. Infernity existed, Pepe existed. There was the whole Soul Charge shit in 2014 where you go Soul Charge Emptiness. Because the thing is, you can say that's when combos started happening, but slow games did return, right? Like we made a transition more and more out of the slow games, but it wasn't like fully in effect, right? Because you had Strikers come out in 2018. That lasted for quite a while, where Striker was a very relevant part of the meta that encouraged slower paced games where got back into resource grinds. That happened a lot, playing with or against Striker or both. That isn't like the same thing as these combo decks, right? It's you say it's relic of its past maybe, but that was like a big piece of Yu-Gi-Oh in this period, right? Like that was very sizable, larger what you play against and what the meta was. Which is actually something weird to say, because why is Striker not on the more of the forefront of people's mind when we talk about this? Because that is a large part of what shaped Yu-Gi-Oh in this period, but it gets overshadowed by Firewall Dragon and Hulk Fibrax.
To like Cyber, Spiral, Golgi kind of stuff, right? When you put 2017 and 2018 side by side, this is kind of what you're getting, right? And I think that is a notable jump in Yu-Gi-Oh's thing. It's towards the end of 2017, yeah, right around that time. I don't know exactly which months the stuff came out, but like which era I'm
Circuit Break probably, right? Is what I call it.
So this is where I would classify like the beginning of if you even want to call it modern Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I do think there's still a difference between today and 2017, 18 or whatever. Like maybe it makes sense to make a distinction between modern and like postmodern, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. The terms themselves.
The issue with
feel
postmodern as well is then what happens when this is no longer modern? Power of the Elements era Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of what I imagine. There was a huge shift in decks, and everything since has been kind of more gradual. And then Fire shook it up, right? There was Pot Yu-Gi-Oh, which I know Kesha wasn't in Pot, but that still all felt like one fluid format. And then I think the Far Nation attacked with Hypernova, and then really set us on the track of like Fire only. But again, is that too small of a year gap to be considered an era? Like that's really only a year and a half, 2 years. I mean, not that this is too long, but yeah.
To me, I don't really care. Because modern to me always implies like today, right? I don't know if that's just me not understanding the full meaning of the word, but to me modern is always like I'm confused when someone says modern in Magic is like a format that started in 2008 or something. I don't know when modern began in Magic, but that always confuses me, right? When I think modern, I always think okay, today. But yeah, it's okay. Modern is dead in Magic now. Yeah, good, because I'm glad it's dead because the name is confusing to me. Anyways,
I've played a modern Grand Prix before.
I do think there's a notable shift in Yu-Gi-Oh's like pace between 2017 and 2018 that lasted until today. I do think the way we play Yu-Gi-Oh right now is a little bit different than 2018 still. Because the biggest difference is probably and I hate to bring it up again, but it's probably one card combos. It's something that has been a lot more common in the modern era.
When he said I hate to bring it up again, I knew where this was going. I feel like that's just a symptom of Fire's format though, because I don't think that's what was really happening last year or with Tier at all. So like, but that's the thing. Each format has its own symptoms of or its own like signature aspects. So like. It's a whole other thing that's kind of weird to talk about. It goes back to the discussion we just had before with the extra deck monster thing. Classifying arbitrary like rules into certain groups is kind of makes weird divisions. How do you set rigid boundaries?
I said it again, but like nowadays, right? It's a lot more common that decks are being able to play with less cards and achieve more, which like wasn't always the case. But I guess 2018 also sometimes had that, like a Neo Space Connector or something like that.
Yep.
The Tenpai player from the last feature match just posted in the Tenpai Facebook group that he was sorry that he didn't know Seals had a second effect, smile. Apparently he borrowed the deck right before the tournament. Yeah, that's Tenpai for you.
Alright, random tidbit we didn't need.
What's your favorite era from the ones proposed? My favorite era from the ones proposed, probably 12 to 17 or 8 to 12. It's between those two for sure. I think I can link you the tweet, yeah. But I think
what I want to say mine are, I don't know if I have favorite eras. Favorite era in a whole would probably be this, because that's when I was most into the game in high school. I was really into it, but there were parts of this I did not like. And this is a bit big of a thing, right? But there's also little segments of each that I really enjoyed. So like 2011 around here, I really enjoyed. 2019, 2018, like with Thunder, up until just before COVID probably. I obviously really enjoyed Tier. I did like that. I loved the BA. That was like my favorite part of this format. Although I was fine with other parts. I don't love hat format. I think hat format's probably like one of my least favorites. But I also liked the Mermail stuff from here. The BA stuff went up until about here. And I liked the Zoo stuff at the end as well. So I liked most of this. I didn't like the Pendulum stuff. I didn't like the half format stuff, the Soul Charge shit that much. I didn't like the start of this either with Dino Rabbit. I liked most of this period, which is what, and I was like playing a lot because I was in high school and I'd beg my parents to go to locals every weekend.
Contrary to popular opinion, I think the worst one is probably this one.
The worst one is Fusion Deck era. The thing is, this is such a big distinction, right? I think like early Yu-Gi-Oh sucks. It's just not recognizable with what it is now. Okay, I don't know if it sucks. I wouldn't say it sucks. I can go with old Yu-Gi-Oh. Some beatdown Yu-Gi-Oh can be fun. I don't hate it. So I shouldn't have said it sucks, but I don't love it either, and I can definitely understand people not enjoying it as much because it's not recognizable to what we have today. I think it gets better other parts. Worst one in its entirety is fucking this. I hate this, I think. But there are definitely like tidbits of each of these that I don't enjoy. I think this would be a lot worse for me if it kind of split off around Go format, like GOAT and after. This is a long period.
People are not gonna agree. People are not gonna like the fact that I said that, but this one is not that great. Which era did you do the best in? This one. This one right here. Which I actually still quite like. Like I think the worst one is probably between this one and this one. Or I mean the worst one is this one.
About to say the worst one is COVID because Konami just made it a lawless wasteland pretty much. This one is like weird. I actually like the more I think about it, the more I like this. 2018 is a fucking hellscape, but 2019 and 2017 are both good, which is why it's weird. But 2018 was so outright bad that it just weighs down what I otherwise think were good formats. These were both good years. This just really sucked. Like really, really sucked.
This right here is the worst. But this one doesn't even count. We don't talk about this one. But this what they call postmodern Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually think is solid. I actually enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! These days quite a lot. There's ups and downs, but I think it's fine overall. Like the last 2 years, I've been having a good time. Definitely a net positive experience being a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player these days. I liked it.
You came back in 2020. Well, that means you lived through this crap, so I'm sorry.
Combos nowadays, though. I mean, right now, that's a big part of the format, yes, but that's not the past 2 years. This is definitely not the past 2 years. Like people.
Yeah, that's a sentiment of fire, right? So like, if that stays forever, problem. But the fire format will pass. Once it passed, I have faith things will be better, right? If we were judging fire format alone, it's this whole period, my view would be a lot different. But like, there were formats I was okay with, and then formats I really enjoyed. So that's fine. Like, I ended up being okay with cash format. The Unchained Rescue stuff at the end was also fine. I didn't love it, but I was okay with it. I had fun playing it. I may not be the most like upbeat, cheery person. When I say something's okay, I mean that's an overall positive. I'm enjoying playing the game, and it's an okay form in my eyes. Then perfect. That's acceptable. I'm not going to complain about that. What I do have a problem with, I do not like right now. I just do not like Snake Eyes. Like I really hate Snake Eye.
Like to simplify and all that kind of stuff. It's not been that bad the last 2 years. Like it's been a lot of different formats actually. Like the dynamics in the last 2 years have had a lot of different dynamics, and it's been fun.
You started watching 5 minutes and you realize this isn't a Josh reaction stream. No, this is a Jesse reacting to Josh stream. For some reason, I thought this was a video Josh was reacting to. It was something else. I don't know why I thought this was a video, but I guess it's a cool discussion. We've really talked about so many random things in this video that this is all over the place, but I think it's still just cool discussions about where Yu-Gi-Oh's gone through in history.
Bologna format. I mean, I liked Bologna.
Yeah, obviously, like Bologna won. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be the biases. I don't know what the topic even was before this, but let's finish the video because I feel like we rambled on for so much.
I enjoyed Bologna. Bologna was cool. Best era when Runix came out. Yeah, this is a coincidence that this era basically starts with Runic releasing. Pretty good. Did you like 2023 Master Duel Worlds format? Yeah, I think so. I mean, as much as you can like a format with Max C in it, I think that
ding 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 ding. Fucking Max C, holy shit.
It put a little bit of a bumper on it, but I thought it was fun. I mainly thought it was fun though because of the 3v3 style and the deck building rules. Like I think
it was actually really interesting, and I'm excited for this year being similar.
If it was a 1v1 tournament and everyone would have played tier limits, I don't know if that would have been that cool. The reason why it was cool was because of the 3v3 format, I think. Do you think Age of Overlord format could become a Time Wizard format? I've seen people in chat say that they could imagine going back to YCS Bologna format and play it as a Time Wizard format. I could see that.
You can tell Josh's chat. Yeah, I don't like look upon it that fondly. I'm fine with that format, but I was done with it by the end. By the end, we'd played enough Unchained, I played enough Race, enough Renix to be like, all right, I've had my time. I'm ready for the next event. That also comes to me like a lot faster, I guess, because I play a lot more Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess, than the average person. So for me getting bored of a format, it happens a lot faster. Because by Bologna, I was like, fuck this. I'm in Italy. I'd rather just see Italy than play more Yu-Gi-Oh. And I was done with it. Fire format, I knew before I even played my first Fire event that I was not a fan. Is a distinction there. But again, guys, thank Josh for the content. I thought this would be a reaction content. It is not, or it is react. It's not reactception. Just me reacting to Josh. Make sure you like and subscribe to him as well. It's funny. It's just Josh reacting to me and me reacting to Josh. Just right there.